Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here on a hump day, Wednesday, March the 1st, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe we're here already. February flew. I feel like it always flies. It feels like there's less days in February. There is. It is Dave Sturchio. It is Chris Gueci. And, of course, my dad jokes are not welcomed here on the Mojo Market Report. But we hope everybody's doing well out there. What? You're going to say something?
Because I didn't laugh at your joke?
Yeah, I mean, you never laugh at my jokes anyway. So
I was going to say, Dave, you know me far better than this. It's way too early for LOLing. We don't LOL at 8 a.m.
Do you know one time a friend of mine actually said LOL instead of laughing? To my face.
Well, I find it like...
He's like, LOL.
I find it a requirement to... Because I don't typically ever actually laugh out loud, you really have to... You know this, right?
Yeah,
so
well...
It's not that I don't find things funny, but when I do, and I have to actually express...
I need to know right now.
Like, actually LOL.
Does your LMAO that you respond a lot of times to me and funny things, are you laughing out loud?
No, I'm laughing my ass off. There's a difference.
So that it's genuine and it's authentic. Because if you put LOL, I typically think that you're not laughing. Not you. I'm talking about anybody else.
I'm never ever laughing. Ever
this
laughing
guy's miserable over here.
If I'm texting, right? This happens to my girlfriend too. We'll be in a group chat. That's
unfortunate. First of all,
we're in a group chat. Well, this is
can't get out of it.
We have a ski. We had a ski
We'll
trip.
get to sports in a minute. I promise.
We had a ski trip to plan.
Truth.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm sitting next to Ash, and we get a text. It's from my brother's girlfriend or fiance, and says something that was funny, right? And she put, "Oh my God, I'm dead," to express how funny it was.
Ash?
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, that's
God,
typical. Yeah, that's fine.
LOL, and I'm sitting next to her. I'm like, "You're alive." And you're not even laughing. So
Captain
make it make
Literal
sense.
Man.
Make it make sense.
All right.
But yeah.
Sports. Well, we got some plenty of sports last night. And obviously, as we get deeper and deeper into the week over at the NFL Combine, we're finding out more and more things as far as these NFL teams that are trying to get under the cap or trying to restructure a couple deals, releasing a couple guys. We'll get into all that. We have a good conversation about that. But of course, we start in the NBA, the National Basketball Association. Last night, plenty of prop bets to be had, by the way. I knew it was only a matter of time for Ja to pop off again, and he did just that last night. His over-under was set at 27.6 on his points last night. He smashed it, goes for 39. Memphis played a wonderful game of basketball. The Bucs, again, 15 straight, Chris. 15 straight. Nobody can take down the Bucs right now. They look to be a force in the East. I was looking at the standings. It's very interesting as we get to literally the last 18 to 20 games of the year, right? So every game down the stretch is going to matter, no matter what, unless you're completely out of it and you're just trying to tread water and weather the storm, get to the next season, whatever. But there are a lot of teams involved in both conferences and both races. When you look at the East, there's those big three up the top, right? Obviously, the Bucs, who just can't be beat. The Celtics, who were beat the other day by the Knicks. I had to throw that in there, a little dig there. And the 76ers, who continue to play good basketball under, with Joel Embiid and company. And then there's like the smorgasbord. They're not as good as the West. When I say that, the West right now, from the 4 seed down to the 11 seed, is a 3.5 game gap. I mean, they are competitive over there in the West.
With the LeBron injury, you could
write them
nix
off.
them.
Yeah, probably. I mean, as of right now, the Los Angeles LeBrons are they're only a game out of the play-in game, but how much can they weather without it? And last night,
not only do they have to weather, they have to make up ground.
I mean, one game's worth just to get there.
Still ground.
Like, you think they have that mentality? And I said this yesterday. Do you think they have that mentality where it's just like, if we could just get by? I mean, I know they lost again yesterday to Memphis. Again, John Morant had himself a night. But if they could just get to the final, 5 games of the season, and they're a game out, you know what I'm saying? Like, LeBron's probably going to be back, even though they said that he could be reassessed in 2 weeks. It's a long time.
The Lakers would get dusted in a series against the Nuggets, so I don't really know that it matters.
Even if they get in, yeah.
Obviously, it's a feather in the cap. You make the postseason. You want to see
Is
the
it
Lakers
a feather in the cap in the NBA to make the postseason? Like I said to you, everybody makes the postseason in the NBA, it seems like.
It's a feather in your cap when you have 20 seasons and 19 of them have gone to the postseason. Then it's a feather in your cap. I think
So you say feather in the cap, but then when I bring that stuff up about the Steelers going over 500 for the entire Tomlin era, you think it's nothing.
I'm talking about this is more. All right, let me clarify what I'm getting at here. The Lakers, it doesn't matter. They're going to be bounced, one and done. It doesn't matter. But when we're talking about legacy, is a star-driven league, and we're talking about personal accolades, LeBron making the postseason almost every single year he's been in the league, I think that's what I'm getting at. It's a LeBron thing.
It's a LeBron thing.
You did say they're the LA LeBrons, so that's where I was going.
But
you agree with that, right? Like the NBA, more so than anything, it's LeBron is playing for legacy. He's not really playing for a championship at this point. I think it would be cool if he did win one, but
it'd be a lot cooler if he did.
LeBron would have to be the third or fourth option on a team right now to win a title. I fully believe that. Or just an all-out facilitator, game manager.
You think LeBron James is at the point of his career where he's just like a role player?
No.
Could be a role player?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to win a title, 100%. LeBron's not going to be the number one guy on a championship team right now. It's a young man's league. And LeBron, while he's still a top 10 player, maybe even a little worse or better, depending on how you want to look at it, currently, talking about right now, you just like the supporting cast isn't there. There's no shooters in LA, so he would need a tailor-made situation. Do you think LeBron has what it takes? And I know you're not a LeBron fan. I am. Like in terms of,
I respect the game. You know what I'm saying? I respect his game. But don't get me wrong.
I don't think LeBron is going to be the number one option on a championship team. He wasn't even the one option on any of his championship teams, really. When you really want to be technical, I mean the
Cavs.
The Cavs, yeah, but Kyrie, I think outscored him in that finals.
I mean, you don't think he's the best of the three that they had in Miami?
Yeah, I know he is I think he's the best player, arguably, ever.
So then he was definitely the number one guy. He was the guy. He was even the guy in L.A.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, well, no. AD was the man that postseason.
And AD was the man last night. He puts up 28. He also smashes his over on the market.
AD was the man that postseason, and D. Wade, Bosh, like that, you could make the case.
Love D. Wade.
LeBron way better than D. Wade.
Yeah, no, I just think D. Wade.
But in the fourth quarter,
you don't want the shot.
I mean, who are you going to? The fourth quarter the game's on the line. I'm giving the ball to D. Wade over LeBron 100 times over.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oof. Okay. That could be a hot take. And that'll be one that goes viral.
Really? I think that's a consensus.
Consensus that the game's on the line. Your team's down 6 in the fourth with 4 to go. You're giving that ball and saying, D. Wade, take this game over. And they're forgetting about LeBron James on your squad?
I'm not forgetting about him.
I mean,
by all means.
But you're relying more on D. Wade.
If I have 100 game-winning opportunities at the end of the game to win or tie, they're not all going to go to D. Wade. But realistically, I mean, LeBron is a selfless player, so I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind the ball, LeBron being the inbounder in those situations. And you give a little handoff, give and go, and then creates a little confusion. Obviously, LeBron's going to demand attention, but who would you rather have take that shot? And it's not even take the shot. I just think D. Wade created his own shot a little bit better.
Okay.
Which could be that guy. I could get roasted for that.
Maybe
LeBron's 6'8".
You mentioned the Nuggets before as they would completely probably dust the Lakers. They win again, 133 to 112. Did you by any chance see our friend The Sauce's video about why he bet the Rockets?
No.
That's a classic.
Did you happen to see like pictures of Jokic's arms?
What does that mean? Is he yoked? Like, is the yoker yoked?
You're like, what does that mean? I mean, like, well, there is context to this. It's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need some kind of. You see his arms? No, you see my. I don't know.
But he's just. It looks like he ran.
Gumby?
It looks like he ran through sticker bushes. I love that word, by the way. No, that's what it looks like. It looks like he took his shirt off and was like, you know what? Or just wear his jersey for that. I don't know if he's going that route, but he ran through sticker bushes. That's basically what it looks like. And he said, how'd you get so tough? Wrestling my brothers. It's like, well, tell your brothers to cut their nails. It's just like I've never seen anything like it. He's scratched up, bruised up.
Well, people listen. It's a hack-a-shack type thing. How else are you going to stop this guy?
Looking like a crumbled up $1 bill with a triple double.
Every night.
Every single night.
Go invest in the Joker right now, ladies and gentlemen. He is one of the top guys on the Mojo Market, and you could do that by downloading the app right now. Do that. Or you can't get involved in all the NBA. There was a couple other. Jaren Jackson Jr. missed his over-under by 1 point, so I'm sorry about that.
Who was the guy that dressed up as Stone Cold?
I missed that one.
I think it was Dylan Brooks.
I would have loved to see that.
You know how the players.
So was it the vest and the jeans, cut off jeans?
Yep.
With knee braces too, or no? I got to see this.
I think he had his tighty whities showing. He did not drink a beer.
What is his?
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan?
D-I-L-L, not D-Y-L-A-N. D-I-L-L-O-N. Brooks. Stone Cold.
Let's see here. I'm looking it up, and there he is, bro. Look at that in all his glory.
Dave just found a new favorite
bro,
NBA player.
Dylan, my guy, bro. You are a absolute savage. Look at this. I'm looking at it right now. You can pull it up. Maybe I'll pull it up and post. But this is a great look for this guy. He comes in there. Yep. I mean, he should have never rocked sneakers. That ruins the look. But
it's
that's such a great
going
look.
to play basketball at the end of the day.
Oh, that's right. They're playing basketball. So yeah, I was misunderstood on that one. But yeah, that's the NBA for last night.
Imagine you just rocked the black trunks. Just said screw it.
With beer. I'm all for it. Let's do it.
And then he went with like 2 of 9 from the field.
And then people are like, hey, do me a favor. Never do that again, actually. Never, ever, ever dress up like Stone Cold. If you would have dressed up like The Rock, you would have rocked that place. But no, you had to dress up like Stone Cold. Wrong guy, wrong wrestler.
Rock.
Huh? You don't... I'm blown away by the fact that you don't like The Rock. It's The Rock.
Was he around the WWF? Was he it already WWE?
WWE changed. They changed the name in like 2002.
So like WWE
2001?
Rock, that's where he needs to stay for me. He was really good at wrestling, not good at movies.
Not good at movies. I did not like any of the wrestling. Any of those movies.
He's also not good at like inspirational quotes. Give me a break. You're on so much steroids, it's insane, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Let me get some.
All right. Well, this one took a turn. Anyway. Speaking of larger individuals, we'll move on over to the NFL. So, as the combine is rolling on right now, and again, it starts today or started yesterday. The drills and stuff that'll all happen throughout the course of the week. But there was some news to drop yesterday, and it'll affect the Mojo Market, any of your investments that you might possibly have. It started in the afternoon, and Marcus Mariota was cut by the Atlanta Falcons. That is officially the hey, we're going Ritter, or hey, Lamar. How about that? Does that right away like send you a smoke signal that Lamar Jackson could possibly be on his way?
Well, that and the fact that the NFL shop actually put up a Lamar Falcons jersey
in
their
didn't.
Store the other day.
By accident?
I mean, you say by accident, I say on purpose.
Oh my God.
It's like neither here nor there how it was. It was. That's
like
all that matters.
Actual NFLshop.com?
There is, actual.
Wow.
There is. Now, obviously, we
Breaking.
know how easy that could be done, right? That could be just some guy that does not care. It could be
some
an
nerd is in his basement, like, I can't wait to edit this and make it seem
either
real.
way you want to look at it, yeah. That is the rumor right now, pumping around the rumor mill, is that there's legs to Lamar going to Atlanta. I don't think it has anything to do with the Mariota thing. I think that was a financial,
But he wasn't making a lot of money.
It doesn't matter. He's making any, right?
And he's not doing anything
if they have no plans,
outside of backup.
If they have no plans.
Because he was benched at the end of the year.
Yeah, he was brought in to be a stopgap guy to maybe bring Ritter along. It's either going to be Desmond Ritter's opportunity to start the season, or they bring in another vet. If it's not Lamar, it's going to be Ritter.
Just based off the small sample size last year out of Desmond Ritter, do you think he's an NFL quarterback?
I have no clue, honestly.
He's a hard egg to crack right now. Like, I'm trying to figure it out.
But to me, he seems a little undersized. I could be wrong. It's just maybe he has that rookie syndrome where almost all rookies look undersized to me until they don't. Like,
and then they fill themselves out over time, right?
So I'm not so sure.
I don't take some of Russ Wilson's
It's
weight.
really hard to evaluate a quarterback off of one game. It's not like I've seen him in combine, and I haven't looked at him like that. So I don't know. I like Ritter. I'm in on him on a couple autos early. So it
always goes back to the autos. That's when you know. That's when you know they're going to be good or not. Because look, much like the Mojo Market, the autograph market of memorabilia, like it knows, right?
Yeah,
it has an idea.
Look, it goes
like Trey Lance stuff was hot for a minute.
A lot of this stuff goes hand in hand. You'll notice that a lot of the players in the Mojo Market are also collectors, and a lot of the guys. That's how.
Did you see the article?
The whole company got started
about Blake Martinez?
Bro, I've been on Blake's breaks for a minute.
Oh my God, bro. He makes a certain amount of money throughout the course of his NFL career and makes $5 million on Pokemon cards like 2 days ago.
I know the whole story well. I've been watching his breaks for like...
Is he good?
I mean, he's barely...
Is he good, or is he... Breakbud's good?
He's not Breakbud's good, no, but he's good. He's got a good
plug.
Team, and, he has a good $250,000 of capital to start, which is a very, very
That
good.
does help. He could go buy boxes and boxes
But
and boxes.
it doesn't matter. Capital doesn't do it. You gotta do it the right way. He's a beast. He's doing it the right way. $5 million in 7 months.
But
no,
is Blake Martinez done in football? You think?
Yeah, he retired.
It's official.
Yeah, he retired. You ready? This is another pandemic special. He got a Pokemon card. He remembered that he had a Pokemon card.
Was it a Charizard?
It was a good one. And he wanted to go back to his,
Jigglypuff,
he asked his mom, "Hey, where are my Pokemon cards?" She said, "Well, I probably got rid of them."
Can you imagine getting cut from the Giants and coming home like, Mom?
Well, he was a Raider. He was on the Raiders.
Raiders, whatever. Mom, where's my Pokemon
He didn't
cards?
get cut. He was on the team. He informed them. He said, "I'm out." Right?
Hey guys, look, I got this Charizard here. It's a limited edition. I'm out.
What ended up happening was he couldn't find his cards. He thought,
what a
I had
panic
some
moment
good
that
stuff.
must
It's
have
starting
been.
to be a thing. Panic. Yeah, he's a millionaire. Poor guy.
saying,
Poor guy. So you know what the millionaire did?
What the millionaire do, Chris?
He said, "All right, you know what? This is the pandemic. I'm sure he got some Donnie dollars or whatever he got.
I'm sure he needed those too.
He did not get the stimulus, but he took $250,000 and he just invested in a ton of boxes, and he did it instead of selling them. He just opened them, which is a gamble because you could lose almost all your money. And he ended up hitting a couple really good cards.
Just imagine that, in that market,
card
market.
He doubled his money right away and was
right
okay,
here,
I'm retired.
Literally, at Chop Studios, we have
Pokemon.
Cards and cards and cards.
Pokemon.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying we have cards and cards and boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just said by breaking them, they lose their value. So how the hell do you even know what you have?
No, they don't lose their value. It's a scratch off. A scratch off that's worth $20 unscratched. If you scratch it off,
it's worth $20.
And it has 0 wins, it's worth none. But the unscratched scratch off could still be worth $50K. So the value is
deep.
the value is in the potential. There is good cards in these boxes. If you open them yourself, you could get nothing, and it's a risk.
That's how this whole Mojo thing started, by the way.
But you could open them. You could open it up and hit the Charizard. I don't know Pokemon. The Charizard.
He called it Pokemon, by the way. How about that? Pokemon. You call it Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Okay. Anyway, moving on to...
did you not see the Jamal Williams interview? You old head.
I did see Jamal Williams.
Well, he was like, when they said Pokemon, he was like, no, don't do
that. Jamal Williams is a national treasure.
You sound old.
Yeah. All right.
Sounding old.
Speaking of old, good seg.
Hey.
Leonard Fournette has been cut by the Bucs.
Old in running back terms. He's
yeah,
like the youngest guy we talked about
old
today.
By any stretch.
26.
A lot of things happened in corresponding moves.
He's older than 20.
His stock went up. Rashad White's stock went up 5%, literally instantly. Is there a market for Leonard Fournette?
Now, there may or may not have been somebody on some episode some weeks back that said Rashad White is a off-season buy.
That's right.
I did say that. So,
it was
I hope
you.
You did.
How about that? All right, so it was you who said that. Yes, you did say that because Leonard Fournette, all of a sudden...
I also said Jordan Love. Guess what? They're both on their way.
Jordan Love is skyrocketing right now. If you really want to get involved, they're either A, they know something about Rodgers, or B, they know something about Rodgers. So just get in there on Jordan Love.
Or B, it's also just the Packers, the way they're talking. That Gutekunst, he's like, no, Jordan Love is a starter.
I have a conversation for that when we get to our third topic because this whole thing is surrounded by the quarterback. But Lenny Fournette, market, yes?
Yeah.
As not a feature back, you would think. Because every team in the league right now has a feature young back, except if you're Dallas. It's weird.
Not every team in the league does.
No?
I think, no, because who would you say, for example, Zeke was not the featured back, right?
Tony Pollard is a young featured back.
In your head, or in some people's heads, or even in Jerry Jones's head, up until this season.
But think about the NFL right now. Name a team that doesn't have a young feature back on their team.
I mean,
and when I say feature, I mean the guy that's going to carry the load for the team.
I could name a few.
Go ahead.
Right?
It's a lot more difficult than you think.
Well, no, just the Falcons.
They like Tyler Algier. They like him.
But Cordarrelle Patterson signed to a 4-year big deal. So
that's
it's like
Cordarrelle Patterson.
Who's the young feature?
The feature back will be Tyler Algier.
If they're both healthy, I think Patterson in a game-by-game situation may touch him.
I still don't look at Patterson as a running back.
Well, it's start, all right? Because he's about to be out of the league as a running back.
Yeah.
That's how he's had a full solid.
And I knew you were going to say Falcons too. I was waiting for.
That's just one. right? Now, you put me on the spot.
It's not on the spot. Just think.
To say another one, all right.
Run through the divisions. Dallas, that's a whole different situation. Washington, yes.
Okay,
the Giants, yes.
The Chiefs.
Pacheco.
Yeah,
Bro,
but was
scored in
he
the Super? Like the guy
point
played
being
amazing.
Going
this year.
into this season, who was their young featured back?
It was supposed to. Well, no, that's not fair.
Well,
it's going into this year. Every team now has a young feature back. I'm not talking about last year.
Even going into last year, would you say that?
I just said it's going into this year.
But I'm just saying, going into this year, there's a lot of running backs that aren't even on teams.
I'm just saying.
All right. Do the Titans have a young featured back?
No, but it's still Derrick Henry, and he's still mowing guys down.
They have an old featured back.
Well, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is every team has one. So where does Leonard Fournette fit in? As a backup, you would assume, or as a short yardage guy, or as a playoff Lenny.
More so, it's like they're going to find a situation very similar to the situation he was in Tampa this year, where they have a guy in Rachaad White and they have a guy in Fournette. They do two different things well, and if the situation calls for a short yardage guy or a grind it out at the end of the game guy, it's Fournette, and if it's not, then it's going to be the other guy.
So the Dallas Cowboys,
or the Packers, or the
Packers.
You
right.
know, we could go on. There's a lot of that's the running back room.
Giants fans rejoice. It's over. The experiment is done. Kenny Golladay is set to be cut before the start of the new league year. That's a massive chunk of change they're going to get back, and when they need it the most, because of the fact that they want Saquon, they want Daniel Jones, they want everybody. They need to add more receivers around, and maybe you can get two guys for the price of what you paid Golladay, which I believe he's caught. I think it was like some in the six figures per catch. Like that's what it broke down to, which is insane. But the big thing is he's up 12%. He's 29 years old. He's up 12%. Is this free Kenny Golladay season? Is it was a Giants fit? Can the guy still play? Because the reason why he was over there in the first place is because he balled out in Detroit. Can he ball out anywhere else? You're short in Kenny Golladay.
I would short that all day. That's 12% that you're going to get back. Look, where's Kenny Golladay going to go right now that he's going to get a better opportunity? The Giants don't even have one single receiver to speak of, and he couldn't catch the ball there. Is he going to go somewhere and all of a sudden the coaching staff? This is now two separate coaching regimes. So it's not like Kenny Golladay didn't get along with Joe Judge's people. The new regime comes in, he still catches nothing. He didn't catch a touchdown until his last game. All right, so no. Kenny Golladay, that 12%.
And he only fell short about 10 for his
We're
bonus.
looking at that 12%. Like, look, I know that the only good thing that I'll say he has going for him is that there is no receivers in the free agent class. But there's no receivers in the free agent class. He's one of them. There's still none. That's my point.
To me, he's a Juju Jace.
He's Juju. He's probably about 6 inches taller than him, so they do different things. But Juju's so much better at football than Kenny Golladay right now, because what Juju could do is he could work the middle. He could work in between he could go over the middle. He could work the slot. Kenny Galladay's not lining up in the slot. He's very one-dimensional. He's a body. Maybe you could say red zone target, but you know who I see when I see Kenny Golladay at this point? And now this might be a stretch because I don't think he has the weight issues, but I see a Kelvin Benjamin type.
Oh,
where it's
wow.
like just too big for the position.
That guy turned into a fullback.
And not that he's too big for the position. There's bigger guys, but you lose some athleticism at the top. Once he's 29 now.
Yeah.
Look at the receivers that are coming in every year.
Oh, every year.
These guys are phased out quick.
All right, one more thing to cover before we get out of here, and I specifically always like to cover these things because I am a Dallas Cowboys guy. Dak Prescott. Yesterday, a lot of the owners and the GMs spoke, right? They all have like hot mics, it seems like. Everybody's on, they're doing interviews. It's almost like Radio Row, honestly, like for the Super Bowl, with GMs that are telling you where they're looking and how they're looking and what they're looking at in the combine, but also leaking other things they're going to be doing in the next coming weeks, being at the start of the new league years on March 15th. March 13th starts the tampering. Stephen Jones doubles down on Dak Prescott, says they will extend Dak Prescott to, yes, alleviate the cap. Now, this is a tall tale sign of saying that they believe in this guy, that there is no plan going forward to replace him. Is this a smart move out of Dallas? Piggybacking also with that question, are we at the point now where you think the quarterbacks, and this is not going to change anytime soon, but do you think the quarterbacks make too much money overall in the league based off of performance and based off the fact that they can't build around them? Look at my example is this. Dak Prescott hasn't been able to do anything past the divisional round, right? Since he's gotten to the league, he's been around for 7 years. Aaron Rodgers, I throw him into the bus, or not under the bus, but into the conversation because of the fact that he's made all this money and he's got one Super Bowl back in the day, right, with McCarthy. But what I will say is they have not been able to build around him. And when they tried and they got Devontae Adams, they had to ship him off because of money.
So, no. Like
are the quarterbacks is it a detrimental thing?
So, first, the Devontae thing was not over money, right? The Packers offered him more. That's a fact. That's a fact, right? He wanted to play in Vegas. So there was no money
Fine,
there.
that's one bad example. But
that had nothing to do with it. Look, when we're talking about the NFL, right? I understand we're ring chasing here, but as an owner, as a league, if you're an owner, and I am one, by the way, but if you're an owner of a team, your bottom line is your bottom line, your money, right? The Packers are contending every year. The Packers did not do bad having Aaron Rodgers. He made them a ton of money. I can promise you that. Competing every year, having a chance to win a title in the beginning of the season, going into it, and then being there at the end to compete, that's what the fan bases are after. That's what their GMs are after.
My question is this. Packers obviously have the awkward year, I'll call this year, but just historically in the past 5 to 10, and this isn't a Packer conversation, this is where I'm going with this. If you were to say, like, for instance, this year, what was the one thing the Packers were missing to be a success? A true number one, like
I would say
offensive line help.
I would say the ability to stop the run.
Fine. So defensive tackles and the front, right? Defensive front.
Scheme.
Now, scheme could be a part of it, but what I'm saying is because you're paying the quarterback all this money, the other positions will suffer. In the grand scheme of things, just think about it. And I know there's Justin Herbert out there who has not been paid yet, right? You have, he has. No, Justin Herbert has. Herbert's going to reset the market.
Here's my thing.
But what I'm alluding to is Josh Allen, right? He gets the big money, and all of a sudden he regresses.
Well, you understand. I fully understand what you're getting at.
Okay.
And quarterbacks getting paid a ton is a detriment to your team. And it kind of goes to show,
unless you want to jack the cap
what
up,
I was just talking about.
Matter.
GMs know this. Don't think that we're just like these random guys in the world that are like the only ones to realize that quarterbacks don't typically win on their second contract without a restructure a couple years later. It just doesn't happen. If you look, I think Mahomes is the first one in 25 years, if not ever, to win on his second contract without a restructure. And honestly, he may have even restructured. I don't even know.
No, he did not.
It's not news to me. It's just like that's the common thing. NFL GMs know this. It doesn't stop them from extending these quarterbacks because having a franchise quarterback puts butts in seats and it makes you a contender potentially year in, year out. So I don't think it's the quarterbacks getting paid too much. I think in some cases you get between a rock and a hard place, i.e. Dallas situation where you may at a point they anticipated Dak being a little bit better when they gave him that money. I think we could all agree to that, right?
Truth.
Dak didn't necessarily live up to that contract, but he didn't necessarily embarrass himself and fall flat either. Like, the contract wasn't awful. The contract was awful in the sense that now they have to restructure a guy and potentially backload some more money, make the situation a little bit worse down the line.
But better for the now.
But better for the now, but maybe not. You know what I mean? Like,
because if the ability isn't there, then what are we doing this for?
Because here's the truth. Unless you're winning a title with all this backloading things, all you're doing is creating a Rams situation without the title. And I know the Rams is a little more extreme.
They sold their souls.
The Cowboys don't do it exactly that, but the Cowboys are doing it all with one player. The Rams at least got like 6, and they were like, look, we're going to cut you all in a year. So the Cowboys are doubling down on Dak. I think it's the right move if they're going to acquire some talent this year. But if it's just to alleviate cap space and do nothing and just stay regular, then you're in trouble. Then you're in trouble. And
okay.
We'll see.
And we will see.
I think Dak getting the extension is a little premature.
I think they have to do it because CeeDee Lamb has gone on record. All these guys have gone on record and said we need more weapons over here. And the only way you do that is if you free up some space. And it's gonna be a rough time in Dallas if they, for whatever reason, like you said, if they restructure Dak and then they give the money back to like Noah Brown or something like that, and you're just like, why are we doing this? Like, what is the main purpose behind a restructure?
And you have to understand,
and they're expecting Tyron Smith back, so no restructure, maybe a restructure there, but It's a lot of money divvied up to a couple
Yeah,
dudes.
guess who's going to want money very soon?
CeeDee Lamb and Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons and all these guys. So it's a fun thing.
Just give it all to Dak.
Just give it all to Dak. And you can give us all your attention by heading on over to, my segues today are on point. You can follow us on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, over at Mojo, Mojo. You can join us on the Discord, of course. That's the daily conversation to find out all your liquid props, your results, your questions, your concerns, your everything that you have to do with Mojo. It's all there on the Discord. So thank you guys once again for watching. We got some more combine, some mock draft stuff to talk about tomorrow because, look, it's going to get real dicey in there. And all these mock drafter guys, their heads are going to explode once the first guy throws the first ball. So we'll get into that tomorrow and the rest of this week. For Dave Sturchio, Chris Gueci, this has been another episode of the Mojo Market Report. Back here tomorrow.